Hello everybody, I'm Natalie. Welcome to my channel. This is 10 days of splits and flexibility for you. So while we are aiming at splits, of course, it's also just a general flexibility practice. So feel free to take part at whichever level of mobility you are at. And I would like to start with you in all of these sessions with a little cardio so that we get the blood flowing, and that will also help us to deepen the stretches. So from here now, step the legs into a wide straddle position, arms to the side, and really bend deep, and arms overhead, and really bend, and arms overhead. Bend, and again. And let's do this a little bit faster. Bend, and up, and bend, and bend, and bend, and again. Okay, great. Step the legs together. From here we are going to go into a squat position. Walk the hands to the front, walk the hands back, stand up, and again go down, walk the hands front, walk back, stand up, front, back. And then from here now, we are going to slowly roll the head down. Feet are parallel, arms are hanging in front here. And just go as low as you can. Maybe you already start to feel a stretch here at the back of the legs. And then once you reach your maximum point, bend the knees and find a position where your rib cage can lie on your thighs here. Relax the head. And take 2 deep breaths. And then from here we will bend a little deeper here until you reach a squat position. Arms are in front here. Doesn't matter whether your heels are touching the floor. If they are not, then you can support yourself here with your hands a little bit. And then from here, I would like you to think of your head as the heaviest part of the body, pulling you down as you straighten the legs and the hips rise up to the ceiling. And we'll repeat this twice. Bend the legs. You can allow the heels to come off. Then use the weight of your head to straighten and allow the hips to float up to the ceiling. And one more time, bend. And then allow the hips to rise. The head is pulling you down. Walk the hands here to the front and the legs a little bit further back into a type of downward facing dog, and just walk the legs here, the feet into the floor, stretching the calves. Okay, and then step your left foot in, bring your whole weight into the left foot, left leg, and then you've got your right leg behind you. So this might already be a stretch for you. If you find it very hard to keep your left leg straight, then just walk a little bit further front. And we're going to lift the back leg here, similar to how we do that in our kick-up practice. So the back leg here, before you straighten it, before you lift it up, make sure it's very, very, very straight. Look at your knee, make sure it's straight, and then we lift that leg up and down as high as you can. 4 times, that's 2 more, and lift. And lift, and we swap legs. Right foot is on the floor, left leg is behind you here. Look at your knee, make sure it's very, very straight. And then we lift and lift. And 2 more times, lift, keep the knee very straight, and lift. Okay, great. So from here now, step the legs wide apart and walk the hands towards you. Turn the feet here to face the side. So you want to turn them out, heels towards you, and then come down here into a squat position. Rest the elbows on the thighs. Okay, great. Come back to standing, and then from here we will take it into a wall stretch where you've got your legs front and back here in a pyramid position. And what you're going to do from this position here, you can place your hands on your hips just to make sure you are correctly aligned and the hip bones are facing the wall. You are aiming at a clean fold, pushing your sit bones back, and then you can place your hands here towards the wall and adjust the position so that you feel a good stretch across both legs. So for me that's here, for you that might look very different. And our aim is to feel a stretch in both legs at the back of the legs and hold it. And then come out of the stretch, change legs, same thing now, find this pyramid position here. Hands by your hips, clean fold to the front. Hands on the wall here. And then adjust the position so that you feel a stretch across both legs. So for me that's stretching the calf in my back leg a little more, and in the front leg I can feel a very strong stretch here in my hamstring. And then come out of the position as we come back to the mat here, where you are going to find your lunge position with the knee on the floor. And from this lunge position here, just gently move around a little bit, finding a position where you can maybe lift the knee off and then place it back down easily, all the while really deepening the stretch here into the hip creases, right? So here, that's where we're aiming at. And already at this stage, you can use blocks if this is already a little bit too deep a stretch for you. In a second, we will work with blocks either way. And from this position, keep the back foot pointed. And then try to straighten the front leg here. Move the hands back, adjust the leg. I will always encourage you to adjust every position in a way so that it feels comfortable for you and where you can breathe and where you feel like there is a degree of movement in the joint. Yeah, so you never want to feel like you're just jamming something, but you want to feel that there is a stretch and at the same time the possibility to just move a little bit. So we'll repeat this 2 more times. Come to your lunge here, and either you keep the hands on the floor this time or you place it on your thigh here on your knee, gently pushing the upper body back, deepening the stretch here across the hips. And then place the hands on the floor, straighten the front leg. Move the hands back, and maybe this time you can move a little closer to the leg. You can be up on blocks here with your hands. I'll show you in a minute how that might change the position. And with your straight leg now, place your left hand, so I've got my left leg in front of me, and now you place the left leg here on the inside close to your left leg. So you've got both hands next to each other, and then you walk them a little bit further away here to the side so that you have a diagonal position in reference to your straight leg. And then here you might want to try and deepen the stretch a little bit. And then come back, placing both hands next to your leg. Come back to your lunge. And stay here. I will get a pair of blocks to show you how you can modify this and forever with blocks. That's always a great way to just give you a little bit of a sense of ease and allow you to lift up to re-enter the position of a stretch. That's a really great way to deepen the stretch. So either you stay here on your blocks, or again you've got your hands here on your thighs, lifting the chest up to the ceiling, deepening here across the hips. And always pay close attention to your breath. If you start holding your breath, it means that you need to ease out of the stretch a little bit. If we can't breathe, we are most likely jamming something. And we always want a degree of movement in the part of the body that we're stretching. So now, one more time, straighten the front leg. And here you can move the blocks back. That's how I would do it. Move the blocks back so that again you find a position here where you can enter this stretch with a relatively straight back, making sure that your hips are aligned, and above all making sure that you can still breathe with a degree of ease. Okay, great. And then come to the front one more time, release the leg, come to a 4-point position here. Let's cat-cow 3 times, and cat and cow, and arch, and round, and arch, and round. Okay, let's change legs. I am taking my right leg to the front. We come to a lunge. I've got my toes pointed here now. And then I'm going to flip the toes and just lifting the knee off the floor twice, and then point the toes again. Find that length in the hip and that you find a good angle for you, and then straighten the front leg. And again, align the hip bones to face front here, and aim for straightening your back before you come a little bit closer to the leg if possible. And if you feel like your leg is really kind of feeling like you're in an awkward position, your leg is feeling a bit weird, then wiggle your toes. Maybe you want to flex a little bit, or maybe you want to ease out of the stretch and re-enter it. Just moving the hips slightly. Sometimes the body has to find a pathway to enter this new stretching position. One more time. Let's go to the front here. And this time, place your hands on your knee, on your thighs, or you can also stay here if that's a little too intense. And from here, we're going to lift the chest, adjusting the weight so that you can stretch deeper into the hip. So that's always the area below the hip bone and between the hip bone and where your thigh muscle, the big thigh muscle, starts. That's where you want to stretch here in the lunge, whereas in the straight leg stretch here, if you move back here, we want to stretch the hamstring. So one more time, let's take it into the straight leg stretch. And again, we're going to now, I've got my right leg in front, so you will place your right hand next to the leg, and then walk into a diagonal here and try to deepen the stretch into a diagonal. And then walk back. One more time. We bend the front leg, hands on the knee, lift the chest up, look up, don't crank your head back. Okay, and one more time to the back. Find movement in the hips, re-enter the stretch with a straight back. Okay, great. Come back to your lunge here. Release the leg. Let's cat-cow 3 times and arch and round. Arch and round and arch and round. Okay, great. So I would like to quickly introduce resistance stretches, even though today we are not going to take them very far just yet. For resistance stretches, you need an elastic band, or I just use a scarf. And we're going to lie on our backs, wrapping the band or the scarf here around a flexed foot, which we then here we are going to straighten the legs around a flexed foot. And then you're going to straighten both legs. And we will only do this twice today. You are going to pull the leg towards you, and then you will push it away. So you're going to push your foot here into the scarf, into your elastic band. Really try to push strongly. So I suggest you use something that is quite stable and strong, so you don't tear your favorite jumper apart. Push strongly. We'll hold 5 seconds in that push, and then we'll pull the leg towards you again. Okay, so we'll only do that twice. So pull your leg towards you here as far as you can without lifting the hip or the knee of the bottom leg off. And then push here into your foot, into the scarf. Hold for 1, 2, really push, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Pull a bit closer to you. And then one more time. Push into the scarf. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release one more time. Pull it towards you. And then release the knee. Gently bend it, bring that leg down to the floor, swap legs, wrap the scarf here around your flexed foot, and adjust your position on the floor. Keep the bottom leg straight and the hip on the floor, and then pull the leg towards you. And now let us push strongly into the scarf and push. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and release. Pull towards you. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. And again push away. Push. 3, 4, 5, and release. Pull towards you. 3, 4, 5. Release the knee. Place the foot on the floor, and then gently bring both knees towards you here, squeezing your knees into your chest, flexing the feet, just gently moving from side to side, just a little bit, to find the complete opposite movement to what we just did. And then come back to sitting. And I would just like to talk through the basic split position and a little bit of the mechanics of how the hips have to be aligned. So to get your blocks if you think you might need them, and also these blocks don't have to be this low. You can use quite high elevations. For all I care, you can use 2 chairs and put your elbows onto it to enter the split position. So just bear in mind always that I'm quite flexible, so the way I show the positions might be very different from what they look like when you do them, but don't worry about that at all. Always aim at entering these positions from your point of flexibility, okay? So splits with blocks, we will start them always in a lunge position here, finding the stretch here in the hips, finding the stretch across the front leg, and then we're going to move the back knee a little bit further back, and then attempt to straighten the front leg. You can wiggle your toes and pull yourself, pull the toes can pull the leg to the front here, yeah, until you find a position where your weight, the weight that you're supporting with your hands should be sort of in the center. So you should feel that you can support yourself well with your arms. And really with this front leg, you can move as much as you want to, flex the front leg to find a position where you think and feel that it is possible for you to hold this for a couple of seconds. So this is the basic position, and I don't even want to just yet push it any further. So before we actually deepen this, it is really important that you feel well supported here in this position by your arms. I mean, I know it's not a terribly pleasant position to hold, but you have to feel that you can protect your muscles and ligaments that are going to be stretched here by always lifting yourself back up. Yeah. So let's swap legs. Let's do that one more time. And that's really important to understand, that we need to be in a position where we can always just release a little bit to re-enter. That is key to stretching in a safe way, because there isn't the one way for every body to do a split. You need to find the pathways in your body that allow you to find a very deep stretch, and that will be slightly different for every person. In your splits, I know that some movement schools will tell you you have to keep the hips perfectly aligned to the front, but the way I will teach you the splits is by slightly rotating the hips. So as you do the splits, your hips are slightly going to align to the diagonal. In my experience, once you have achieved the split with the diagonal position, you can then aim again at finding more depth in the stretch by aligning the hip bones to the front. So let's do this one more time with the other leg. Again, we're going to find our small lunge position here. Then move the back knee here a little bit further back. And already pay attention to how your arms are supporting you here. Maybe you want to move the blocks or the hands a little further back, and then find your way, your wiggly toe way or flexed foot way of straightening the front leg into a position here where we now want to feel the same stretches as we did in the lunge and straight leg variation. So we want to feel a stretch here across the hamstring of the front leg, and the stretch here in the hip of the back leg. Yeah, the point between the hip bone and the thigh of your back leg, that's where you want to feel it. And if you feel like it's too intense, or everything, all the weight is on the front leg, I'm feeling really stuck, lift yourself back out and restart. Yeah, maybe you have to actually move further to the front. Maybe you want to keep the front leg a little bit bent and focus on the back leg, and then re-enter. All these variations are possible. We will talk about them more in the next days. But for now, your most important takeaway is that you have to be well supported on your arms here in the entry position. And release. Very good. Great. Let's one more time just to finish. Here, find a very compact position. You can come into a child's position if you want to. You can keep the elbows here on the floor and find a really compact position where your sit bones are almost touching your heels and your upper body is resting on the thighs. And just gently move back and side to side. And take a deep breath and a sigh of relief out. That this is over. You've done the first day. You've done the first day of our split practice. Feel free to repeat this. We will progress further in the next days, and the idea is always that if you want to, you can repeat these sessions for as long as you like, because of course we're doing the whole thing in 10 days, but it's unlikely that you're going to really learn a split in 10 days. So take your time and do this step by step.